Okay, so nerds, as promised, we're gonna do some Ballin on a budget, and we're taking a field trip. And I was just talking to my partner about this. When I see people filming in public, I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're probably making a reel or a TikTok. The fact that I'm going to be filming in public has me literally nauseated. So that's on anxiety. Let's go. So after all that, we go into the grocery store. I start filming, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And I will include that at the end of this video because it's kind of like a bloopers reel. Like, every wine I scanned wasn't in my wine searcher app. Great. Now, as I think I said at some point in one of the many clips that I'm going to put together for this video, there is a Wine Spectator app. Maybe it has more wines. I don't know. It's only for Apple. If you have an iPhone, give it a shot. Let me know. And then I'm pretty sure Vivino also has an app. But I really think, I don't know if Vivino has the critic ratings. And while I love peer ratings, I want to know what the critic ratings are also. So I'm like so discouraged at this point. None of them are scanning. Nothing's showing up. I'm ready to throw in the towel. And my partner is like, well, why don't you just go do your grocery shopping and then I'll stay back here and try to find some that scanned because I married the best person ever. So I do the grocery shopping. I come back. He's picked out some 10 minutes and 47 seconds. I am scanning them. I'm talking about it. So I'm scanning them. I'm talking. I kind of talk about like some tips at the grocery store, and I'm being very careful to not get people in the background because, there's a lot of controversy about when you're filming in public and there are people in the background and they didn't give their consent. Anyway, we wrap up the video. I'm all excited. It says can't play video. And I was like, no. And I was just being very dramatic. I was like, we're not doing this again. My partner was like, we don't have to. Just like show them that, talk to what happened, and then just go scan some wines in the basement. So that's what we're gonna do. Be right back. So you can see here we have the wine collection. We're pretending to be at a grocery store. I'm like, ooh, this orange wine that we're gonna talk about in a few episodes looks good. What do the critics think? And then I take a picture. Ooh, the critics are giving it an 89 out of 100. Average price is 23. So then if my store has it for less than 23, I'm definitely getting it. And if they have it for like 24, I'll probably get it for the convenience so I don't have to talk to anyone. Let's do another one. So I think we'll be drinking, no, this isn't one we're drinking tonight, but, okay, so I look at this and I see the price is $18 and I'm like, cool. And then I take a picture of the label. I don't know why we got the flash that time, but that's fine. And I say, oh, the critics rated it an 88 and the average US price is a 19. Well, I'm definitely getting this because mine is cheaper. And then we'll do, I think the other one I was gonna do, oh yeah, because we're gonna drink this soon. I'm pretty sure I paid 16 for this, but I can't remember. So I take the picture and I say, oh, swell. Okay, well, I paid less than that for this wine that's rated an 89, which is amazing. So that's pretty much how it works. I was able to scan pretty much most of these wines. And then if you can't find a wine, right? So let's say, I think this one did show up when I didn't take a picture of this one. I searched it through text. So let's say it didn't show up somehow. I could verify, well, actually, let's see if it does show up, especially since I have a rubber band over it. Okay, well, this is El Diablo Vineyard, which is interesting. Oh, well, it's this one instead. So, but that's a good thing to check. So make sure, like you can see this one says Grist Vineyard, and the one I have is El Diablo Vineyard. So make sure it is the one that matches the label. Now, if it had only come up with Grist Vineyard, I could type it in and I could say De Zinfandel El. There we go. De El Diablo is the second one down. De El Diablo Vineyard, Zinfandel, Russian River Valley, USA. That matches everything. Ah, ta-da. I can see the label. I matched the label to mine. Hopefully that helps you understand how to go armed into the grocery store with an app. I was just having a string of bad luck. Okay, so our haul ended up being, we got the Toscana with the organic grapes. Also, because it has this cool cork twist, it looks like it's a mushroom cork, like on champagnes. They used plastic to keep it in. So I'm intrigued to how this will turn out. I'm pretty excited about that. And then also put this over here, so not being awkward. I got it. I couldn't resist. I love a good Cremant. I'm so excited to try that one. Okay, we'll go to that in just a second. And then we got this Chateau au Perruguet. Oh wait, I think I looked this up before. This sounds, I feel like I remember typing this. I don't remember why, but it was like $10 or something. And so my partner picked it out because he was like, well, I like Bordeaux's, and I like not spending a lot of money. So I'll see if we can include that in the budget. I'll definitely review it and let everybody know. And then as discussed, so I obviously love my like $10-15 wines. This one was 10. I'm sure it'll be great. This one I think was like 12. It's gonna be awesome. But I did splurge a little. I budget splurged is how I like to think of it, and I got 2 Burgundies to be honest. So as we've discussed, Louis Jadot does a great job, so I don't really have to review them. They are also both Premier Cru, so I know they're gonna be good. I also know that 2019 was a great year. I think it averages like a 93 or a 94 across the critics boards. And I will probably age this one another year. I could drink it now, but I'll probably give it till next year. This one though I can drink right now because it's 2016. So 2014, 2015, 2016 were kind of hail years. It was unfortunate. Actually 2013 might have been also. So 2016 though was, I believe, rated across the board around a 95. So I definitely wanted to grab this one. This was 37, I think, and this was 50. So no, they're not inexpensive, but for a Burgundy, they are an excellent value. So that was kind of another thing that I was trying to address at the end of the video there, but I was getting really awkward. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit more about Ballin' on a Budget, and I do want to link it to this video. Just one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, part 2. So when I went to the store, I was actually wildly unprepared. I did a little research ahead of time comparing the summer top 20 to some other ratings that I was able to find. I mean, honestly, they were pretty matched. Like, I would say, again, like a couple points higher for Wegmans versus these, like Wine Advocate, Wine Spectator, Vivino, Venus, etc., etc. But I hadn't, like, checked on the app if they really had all the wines. So what you didn't see was the behind the scenes of me scanning like 15 wines and none of them coming up, and then me going to do my grocery shopping while my partner, who is an absolute saint, went and found ones that actually scanned. So I will say, take the video with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like, not everything will be on there. I know Wine Spectator has an app, but they are the ones that are only for iOS, so I am not able to get it, and I believe it does also cost money. So just keep that in mind. You can always look on Vivino. You can always just kind of like Google it and get information. But let's talk about some Ballin' on a Budget that you can use Wine Spectator for. You can find most of this information on their website. I happen to have like a year-long subscription because it was a deal with T-Mobile or something like that. I don't remember, so it's like $2 an issue, so I'm definitely doing it. But when you look in here, so I'm looking at the May 2024 issue, and we have the Savvy Shopper page on page 24. I'm nervous to like put it up because then I'm afraid Wine Spectator will like sue me because, you know, I have like 10 followers or something, and obviously you're all gonna round them blind. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, the wines listed, so we've got a list of Chile, and then an Alto Adige list, and then a global tour list. And the wines we're looking at are like a $92.30, $91.27, $90.20, $90.19, $89.14. So these are all like relatively high points, and this is these are Wine Spectator's points, so this isn't coming from anywhere else. And then the Alto Adige, we've got like a $90.20 and $89.17. The global tour, we have a $93.40, but it's coming from Russian River. So again, that's what I mean by like, know your area when you're looking at the budget, because Russian River tends to be very pricey, especially for Pinot Noirs. We're looking at, how did I miss, oh, I gotta find this. A 90.30 Bourgogne Origine from Albert Bichot. Well, I need to find that one because that sounds incredible. A 90.20 Gruner Veltliner, blah, blah, blah. Then we go to, this is back to the Burgundies. So they have Bruce Sanderson's recommended red Burgundies. So I skipped the top wines, which are like $2,000, $1,615, but I went over to the top values, and all the scores are like 92, 92, 91, 90. The lowest one is 90, and it's $50. But there's a 90.35 Bouchard Père et Fille Cotonou Village 2017. So like, that's a good deal. I need to find that one too, actually. And then we skip to the back, and we have Allison. Yikes, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Navjus, maybe? Recommended wines from Alto Adige. So again, I'm kind of like, well, actually, because I kind of mentioned this, like Italy still isn't, they're great wines, but they're still not as popular as France. So we can find some really good deals. Yes, the first one is $380, but as I scroll down, oh my gosh, skim down, there's a 91 point Pinot Grigio Val d'Adige. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that one right. $22. Fantastic. We have a Classico Superior, 88 points, $19. We've got a Pinot Bianco Alto Adige Cora, $89 points, $17. And then in the back, they always have like a list of their recommended wines. And the first thing you're going to see is the highly recommended. Skip past that unless you want sticker shock. Go to best values, and it will be wines with solid scores, modest prices, and wide distribution. Perfect. So we have a Sauvignon Blanc from Chile that's $14. Points are 89. Oh wow, this one's from Israel. 89 points. Yasmin Red Galilee 2022, $16. Amazing. Another Chilean. It's a Pinot Noir, $12. Oh, and then a Monterey County. Monterey is beautiful. $13 for a Pinot Noir. So that's always fun. And then we'll skip over. And then there's like one more thing I want to talk to you about after we get through this. This is literally the most chaotic video. I don't know if any of them will ever top this unless I just like, I don't know what would top this. Okay, so I'm now in the, oh, this was such a fun one. I have an extra one of these. This is the March one from 2024. And they had a whole feature on Gigal and the iconic Lala wines, which come from Rhone. They look like this. They're fantastic. I love those wines. Anyway, so the Savvy Shopper. That's a fun one. Wait, that's what I just said for the other one. Like I said, chaotic. So we've got Italy's Bounty. So here we have a Barbera, 92 points, $27. Ooh, a Fiano. 91 points, $25. Let's see. I think this one is the least expensive. It's a Ciro White Sagnol Librandi, 88 points, $15. Fantastic. Now we have a Rhone selection. I'm gonna need all of these. 91 points, $29. Okay, that's at 91 points, $20. 90 points, $19. 87 points, $14. 87 points, $15. That's pretty nice. Global values, we have a Grenache from Columbia Valley, 91 points, $28. That's not. Here we go, Cabernet Sauvignon from Columbia Valley. So that's going to be that cooler climate. So less of that bold Napa and more of your European expression. And that one is 89 points, $17. Those are pretty decent. We skip forward. Now we have Kristen Beeler's recommended wines from the Rhone Valley. And this is like a huge spread. Like this is a massive list. And I think it might go... Is it going to the next page? No, that's it. So we've got 2021 Northern Rhone Reds, 2021 Northern Rhone Whites, other Northern Rhone, then we've got the whole selection for Southern Rhone, and then Rhone Values. So I skipped all of these and I went to Rhone Values because again, we're looking for budget. Ballin on a budget. Fantastic. 92 points, $29. 92 points, $20. 90 points, $19. 90 points, $21. Like, these are being imported from France, and they're still going to be incredible at 90 points, and that's not pricey. This was an alphabetical guide to the Rhone Valley wines. This is the one that's like a multi-page spread, and I think if we, yeah, it like keeps going. This one's a little trickier. It doesn't have the values separated, but you can just do a really quick skim because the prices are listed. So I skim and I say $29, 91 points. $17, 89 points. Let's go over here. Also, it's divided by the domains. So if you have a domain that you like, you can just skip to that one and see which ones. Like, let's say you just really like, I'm trying to think, like Ferhaton Bergenfi. You can say $17, 88 points. Perfect. That one's a great value. Or you can spend $20 and get a 91 point, and that's a white, but it's still going to be fantastic. So that's another way to do it. And then we will go to Tim Fish's recommended wines from Washington. Again, I skip the top wines and we go to the top values. 92 points, $25, 90 points, $17, 88 points, $13. Like, these are great, great choices. And then again, if we go to the back in the selections, Smart Buys, Best Values, we have, oh, these Smart Buys are good too. Oh, I missed the Smart Buys in the last one. Smart Buys are good too. So we've got a 93-point peak pool, which I think we discussed in another video, $22. Nice. A Rioja Reserva 2019, this $22, rated at 91 points. A Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, that's pretty good, 91 points, $28. That's shockingly inexpensive for Willamette. And then we go to the best values. We've got a Chardonnay from Columbia Valley, 88 points, $15. Oh my gosh, a Malbec from Argentina, 88 points, $12. So you can definitely find, I mean, these are in Wine Spectator, but these are not going to be bad wines. They're not going to recommend them if they're bad. Even they explain their points scale somewhere in here. I thought they explained it on the first page. I'll like edit this part out. Here we go. Okay, about the 100-point scale. So 95 to 100 is a classic, a great wine. 90 to 94, outstanding, a wine of superior character and style. 85 to 89, very good, a wine with special qualities. And you'll notice none of the ones I read were below, I don't think I read any below an 88. There might have been 187. So all of them are very good, outstanding, or classic. And that is just a great recommendation. There was something else. Pause. Okay, this is kind of what I was trying to get at in the grocery store, but then I cannot even begin to tell you how flustered I felt and like how self-conscious I was. Like, I post videos every single week, right? So I don't know who's watching these, but I was so self-conscious in the grocery store that everything I had planned just like poof out the head. So what I wanted to kind of talk about was some other tips when you're going to the wine store. This is especially if you don't want to talk to people, which I'm hit or miss. Sometimes I'm like, please talk to me, let's talk wine. And sometimes I'm like, please leave me alone. Avoid wine trends. So I kind of mentioned that kind of, like, Josh is not bad wine. I'm not shit talking Josh. Josh is great wines, but I usually don't buy them because I've had them. I know what they taste like. I know they're spending a lot of their money on marketing probably. I guess I don't know. They are probably spending a decent amount of money on marketing. They have a formula, the wine's always going to taste the same, and if that's what you want, then that's fantastic. But if you're looking, again, like, I don't consider that Ballin on a budget. Ballin on a budget to me is you have a great wine for a great value, and a lot of times it's something no one's heard of. So anything that's super trendy. My caveat to that would be orange wines are kind of trendy, and I think they're fantastic, and natural wines are trending, and those are also really good. But I'm thinking things like the name brands that everybody's getting, and I'm like really nervous to name any brands because now, like I said, I'm already nervous. Like Josh is gonna come and like sue me, and I definitely can't afford that. But like Hampton Roast Summer Water was really popular one year, and it's not a bad wine. It's just I feel like it gets marked up because it's popular. There's actually a guy I follow on Instagram. I'll link it in the video comments, and he kind of talks. Maybe I won't get sued. He's in the UK though. He talks about Whispering Angel and how at this point Whispering Angel is like out of control. Yeah, it's a great rosé. The price point has skyrocketed because everyone was buying it. So that's what we're trying to avoid. Another thing you can do, so that's just on wine trends. So I avoid the wine trends. Don't get overpriced because of popularity. Another one is just getting to know your geography. So this is a huge one. Actually I think Cinsault is probably the easiest one. So Cinsault is in the Loire Valley. It's just Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire. That's the only way, or from Sancerre in the Loire. Whatever. The point is, you can get. I'm definitely gonna be like putting words over myself in post. You can get Sauvignon Blanc from other parts of the Loire, and it's gonna be it'll be close. It'll be Sancerre adjacent. And I would say the same thing has happened with Champagne. You are not gonna get a Champagne in the US for like a true Champagne that is any good for probably under $50. It's gonna be really hard. But the likelihood that you're gonna be able to find like a Crémant that's also just amazing, excellent. And you just have to know which of the areas around Champagne are making those goods Crémants. Most of the other, I'm going to say a lot of the other countries aren't overpriced, but actually I was just talking to someone else, they were like, I really love Napa Reds, but I can't afford them. And I said, well, just look for the wineries right outside of Napa, because they're probably not charging as much yet, because they can't put Napa on their label. And then, so with that geography, you can also I'm kind of talking about buying the same varietal from like right next door, basically. But you can also kind of switch that. So if you really like a place, you can try other varietals from that same place. And if that place is really known, like Argentina's really known at this point for Malbec, but they make other wines. And actually, kind of like we talked about in the Cinsault video, so like Chile is known for a lot of really good wines. I think Merlot is one of their like biggest, but they're experimenting with like, I think Pais and Cinsault, and they're gonna be making good wines because those grapes are thriving there. So give those lesser known varietals. Gruner Veltliner was a good one for a while, but I feel like a lot of people know about Gruner Veltliner now. Look for those lesser known varietals, because you're not gonna be able to charge as much, because people are gonna look at it and say, I don't know what this is, and put it back and not buy it. So you, as a savvy shopper, can buy those unknown grapes. And then last but not least, and this is definitely kind of that like next budgeting tier, you're still budgeting, but this is like when you want to get something really fancy for a little bit less of a fancy price. So kind of like I talked about, I'll buy Burgundies from Louis Jadot because I know as a negociant, he has a great reputation. It's probably the only negociant that I feel really comfortable that whatever I buy, it's never going to be bad. It will probably be at least very good. But know your estate off labels. And sometimes you don't even need to know them because it'll say it on the back. So I'm trying to think of like a good one. And of course, the only one I can think of is Kaleidoscope and Mondavi, and that was such a disaster. But a lot of the, oh my gosh, I'm having such an ADHD moment. Growths. A lot of the first growth Bordeaux's will have another label that's a second growth or even a third growth. A lot of them even have like non-growth. So you'll get basically the first growth, the estate will take their best grapes. I'm not gonna lie, like the best grapes are going into their first growths, but they'll have other grapes. They're still very savvy vintners. Like these people know how to make wine, or they wouldn't be making first growth Bordeaux's. So just figure out what their off label is and go see if you can find it outside of the Bordeaux growths. The one I'm thinking of most is Rothschild, and I can't remember what their first growth and which one's their second growth, but they do have two labels, and the second growth is always going to be significantly cheaper. And I think they even make like an off label that you have to look for the fine print somewhere. It says like Rothschild in like 5-point font. But that's another way to get some really nice wines for, I'm not gonna say not a lot of money, but less money than you would be paying for their premium labels. I think that's finally it. I'm so sorry this video was such chaos. If you survived, congratulations, you definitely deserve a bottle of wine. Thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully all future Ballin' on a Budget videos will be a little less anxiety inducing for me and a little more structured for you. But I will see you next time. Thanks so much.